seconds. You're with Lauren Laverne. Time for more live music now from my guest today, Afghan Whigs. Thank you very much for sticking with me, gentlemen. So tell me a little bit about the fact that, Greg, last time you were here, you told me you like to take a record for a drive when you finished it.
Yes.
That's like a little ritual that you have at the end of the recording process. I wondered where you took Due to the Beast when it was done and dusted.
I took it for the same ride that I took the last record that I was. I went up the 101 to Mulholland Drive and then came down through Malibu and down the Pacific Coast Highway.
I bet that sounded awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite way to listen to a record. That's kind of like my go-to drive.
Okay, and will you listen to other people's records when you're doing that drive? I mean,
I kind of do the drive. I sort of do this drive. It's almost like it's the drive just for
a ritual
for mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't go up that way. It's kind of trafficky. I go late at night when everybody's asleep. So
I love that. It sounds dangerously beautiful, though. I mean, that sounds like the perfect setting for a great piece of work. But maybe just the visuals that you were taking would be too seductive.
I listen to it like it's a nice long ride. So I'd listen to it like about 3 times.
Okay,
it's good.
Perfect. So if any listeners are doing some kind of road trip out that way, they can actually put the album on in the car and copy you. The new record's out on Sub Pop, which is a record label that you have a bit of history with. How is it being back at the label?
Well, I've been back since Mark Lanigan and I did the Gutter Twins record in 2008, and then the Twilight Singers' last record was on there too. But to be back on with the Afghan Whigs is sort of like it's where we began, and Jonathan and Megan, who were there when I was there the first time, they're still there, and it's like a family.
It's a brilliant roster that they've got, though, because it's very adventurous. I mean, we've been playing like Shabazz Palaces, and we had the Satisfaction in session on this program a little while back. And, I think often, especially in the UK, we think of Sub Pop as being so associated with that, like guitar bands, and when we first heard of it, I guess, over here. But it's a really diverse mix of music.
They did, they sort of reinvented themselves with like Postal Service and Shins and a lot of pop music. Beach House, Fleet Foxes, they've done it and doing comedy, and I think that they're now starting to do like African music and stuff too. So
it's a good place to be.
Yeah, it's cool.
So what's next for you guys? Obviously, we mentioned that you've got a couple more shows, including Latitude Festival at the weekend. What have you got planned for that?
After that, we go home for a month, and then we start a 2-month tour of North America. So. We have like 35 shows coming up, so we're just getting started.
Is there anywhere that you're particularly looking forward to playing?
In the States? Mm-hmm. Always love to play New Orleans. A bunch of us are from there. Chicago, always fun to play. New York, San Francisco. Those are,
How is it making music in New Orleans these days? Because obviously, post Katrina, I kind of think the only experience I have of what that might be like is watching Treme. So I just sort of wonder how accurate that is and what the music scene's like down there now.
City's booming.
Yeah,
city's experiencing a renaissance.
I think I think New Orleans is the fastest growing city in the United States right now. I've never seen it
of relevance.
I've never seen it in such good shape as it is now. I mean, Rick and Dave live there full time. I live there half the time, I don't think I've seen it in a stronger place. It's out of control with.
Yeah, it's a good place to be right now.
Yeah.
It's a really good place to be right now.
It's a place that draws a lot of artists to it. Why is that, do you think?
It's not a music business city. It's a music city. Like, people go to New York to study acting, and they go to L.A. to be on TV. You go to New Orleans to study and work out your stuff and get inspirations. And then you take it elsewhere to get serious with it.
But
so like you write your record in New Orleans, then you go to LA to plug it, or
you collect experiences that will help write your record.
I think a lot. After the hurricane, there was a lot of affordable housing in New Orleans, and a lot of New York artists who were getting priced out of lofts and studio space in New York and in LA moved down to New Orleans and have now driven up the prices there. So, you know.
Well, there's a booming movie industry there too. So there's a lot of West Coast people coming out and seeing people from bigger, more important cities are seeing how cool it is.
It's
and the word spreading.
Kind of similar in Baltimore, as I understand it. You know, talking to Beach House, who you just mentioned, being based out there, and Dan Deacon is quite a community of artists. It's brilliant. Well, listen, thank you very much for coming to see us today. What are you going to play before we let you carry on your many and varied adventures?
This song's called Algiers.
Over to you.
The diamond in the chain. Still I was a slave, waiting to be saved. Dream, the body sleeps, but I am not too proud to roam on the back street.
Afghan Whigs on BBC 6Music live in session, and the album is out now, but you can catch these guys tomorrow night at Manchester Cathedral before they're off to the O2 ABC in Glasgow, and then Latitude Festival at the weekend. Have a wonderful rest of the tour. We hope we see you again soon. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Lauren.
Afghan Whigs on 6.